Hello, YouTube. It's your boy, the Crazy Trader, and I'm here again with your favorite stock review. Like I always say, it's get money, don't make no money, and you always got to risk it to get the biscuit. Let me tell you, I'm not a professional financial advisor, so don't take my advice for anything. You're gonna go broke. Anyways, I'm here. I'm gonna talk about Neo. I haven't done this in a long time. I remember the first time I spoke about Neo. This was like 5, 6 years ago. I really don't remember, but it's been a while. And it was actually an upcoming company when Tesla was going crazy. I missed out on Tesla, so I actually bought Neo just to make up for missing out on Tesla. In my FOMO days, Tesla was flying up off the shelf, and I didn't want to chase. So I kind of researched and picked an alternative, and the alternative that I picked was Neo, and it actually did pretty good because I was buying them. I bought it at like three to $5 or $6, and I sold them at the top at 55, $54. And ever since then, I've had Neo in my portfolio for a very long time. Normally, I'll sell all these Chinese stocks because their negative news about the United States and China is way too much. And even though the company is doing really good, all it needs is one negative news with the Chinese government saying this and that, and then the company's gone. Or a trade war between US and China, and then the company would just fall drastically. So I normally wouldn't recommend buying a Chinese stock because all it takes is one freaking news and then it's all gone. I remember Alibaba was doing pretty good, and then the Chinese government started cracking down on them, and it just fell off. It's kind of stabilized now, but it really kind of fell off. Alibaba, great company, doing all they own AliExpress, they own a lot of stuff. But then, as soon as the Chinese government started, the founder went to say some BS against the Chinese government, and then the Chinese government decided to crack down on them, and that's what most of these Chinese stocks are like. The moment they start cracking down on them, it goes berserk, and then the stock just kind of falls. But this is in the right position. Okay, Neo has gone in its prime. Let me see. In its prime, I want to see. In its prime, Neo was around what 60 something dollars. Neo went all the way to 60 something dollars. Oh, $57 in its prime. Okay. So today, if it's selling at 472, it's a very good price. Just a full disclosure, I own Neo. I own it at $5. My average cost is at $5. And I've had this for a while because I kind of like the company. I like the stock. I like the battery swapping, option that they have. And I think it should be there for companies like Tesla and Lucid, and all these premium companies should have a battery swapping station where you don't have to go and sit down and charge your battery for 45 minutes. I know you can charge it at home, but what if you want like on a road trip and you want to, you know, a quick change of your battery. You don't have to sit down for 30 minutes or 45 minutes for your battery to charge. You just drive into a battery station, which changes your battery in 5 minutes, and then you're out of there. I think for premium customers, they should have that kind of luxury, and Neo is providing that. I'll go into it a little bit later on, but this is just a quick overview. I own 510 shares of Neo. uh, I used to buy 20. I think I've paused it, but I don't buy it anymore. I used to buy $20 worth of it every day. It is 2.3% of my portfolio, which is pretty safe. I'm not even, worried about it. At $5 at average price, all it can do is go up from there. Okay. So let's look at a few of the metrics here. The market cap is 10.1 billion. Let's say 10 billion market cap. The 52-week high is $8, which pretty good. I didn't sell it when it hit 8. I was going to, but I didn't. P ratio negative 3.33. Good company. I like it. I like how it trades. It hasn't really done much in the past year or year and a half. So it's pretty good. China stocks like Alibaba New has set low growth target since 1990s. Yeah, because the Chinese economy is kind of not doing too good. Why is Nio Stock up over 5? So this is all news that you can go and read from Robinhood. Nio rises from deliveries. Nio rises after deliveries surpasses 1 million vehicles. So they have 1 million vehicles on the street so far. If you like analyst ratings, okay, 53% say buy, 42% say hold, and 3% say sell. So that's a quick one on the analyst ratings for you if you're the guy who wants analyst ratings. And then let me do this. Like I said, you can do this yourself. Just go to Google and do it. Neo Stock gained a momentum in early March 2026, rising 5% to close near $4.84 on March following news that cumulative delivery surpassed 1 million vehicles. So in total, they kind of delivered 1 million vehicles. I think they're really going to do. If you have 1 million vehicles on the street, there's nothing for you to do but survive. So I want them to survive. The company is seeing strong sales momentum for its new sub brands and battery swapping network. They have a lot of battery, especially in China, swapping network. With Q4 2025 earning expected to show a significant shift towards profitability. So that's what they have to achieve. All they have to achieve is profitability, and then we know that there's positivity going up from there. The reason, even if they are profitable, I wouldn't still recommend the company, because it's, if it was an American company, we know after 4 quarters of profitability and with a magnitude of 1 million vehicles on the street, we know that there's a possibility of them being added to the S&P 500. But because they're Chinese stock, they're never going to be added to this S&P 500. So that is one of the negatives if you are more of an American based person and you want to invest in this stock. Following a 2025 rally, the stock has been consolidating around 450 to 5, with analysts setting a consensus price target near 650 to 683. So it has a potential of 34 to 45% upside. That's if you're a risk taker and you want to take that kind of risk, then yes, I've dedicated 2.3% of my portfolio to for that risk, so I'm not even worried about it. So key catalysts, the Envoy and Firefly. If you follow Nio a lot, Nio itself is a luxury brand, so the cars are very expensive. So they kind of offset that by creating two new brands, which is the Envoy and then the Firefly, which are two new brands, which are not luxury brands. They are more of the people brands. They are the brands for you and I. It's not called Nio, but it's still a Nio. It's still under the Nio company. So the Nio technology, everything that Nio has is in this brands, which is the Envoy and the Firefly. And it launched in 2024, driving wild cumulative battery swaps. The cumulative battery swaps, which is swapping a battery, has surpassed 100 million. That means there've been 100 million battery swaps as of February 2026. There's been more than 100 million battery swaps. So people are actually really using the battery swaps. You know what I mean? So it's something that is really, I think some other electrical car company, like EV car companies, should look at battery swaps, because people really love that. Q4 2025 results scheduled for March 2026 are expected to show a potential operating profit of at least $100 million. It's not much, especially the company being a $10 billion company. But all we need is starting profitability. If you start profitability, then you can go from there. Risk factors: despite quadrupling sales since 2018, the stock faces pressure from U.S.-China trade tensions. Like I said, an intense domestic competition in China. China has a lot of companies that are EV companies like Xpeng, BYD. I mean, even your regular robotics company is doing an EV car right now. So China has a very high competition, but they've expanded in so many places. I think they're in Norway. There's a few of their expansions that I've seen that's pretty good. They are not in the United States yet. No other Chinese car is in the United States, so you're not going to see Nio on the US streets yet. But I kind of believe that if there's any car going to come through, two cars that I believe will make it to the US first, Chinese cars that I think will make it to the US first, will be BYD and Nio, because they really know how to position their brands. Okay. Let's go to what I normally do with my NASDAQ uh, institutional holders, which I really say I try to put it at 50% plus one. Okay. That's majority. But this institutional ownership is really low. And you can see why. It's a Chinese company. The relationship with the US is not that great. Okay. So 15% is held by institutional investors, which, let's go see who's holding this. DE Shaw, holds a lot of it. UBS Group, they also hold a lot of it. Um, you can see your normal, Jane Street Group owns a lot of it. This is as at December 31st, 2025. You can see Morgan Stanley over there owning 15 million shares. You can see Goldman Sachs owning 14 million shares. You can see JP Morgan right there owning 12 million shares. So there's a lot. I can go through every page by page, and there's a lot of institutional, holders that have it. Okay. So I don't this is 507 institutional holders holding the shares. So I'm not an institutional holder, but if 500 institutions are holding it, and I wanted to believe that a company is doing decent, and the total amount of shares held is 319,223,000, and all the the little numbers behind it. But I love Neo at the price of $5. If I was starting all over, if I was starting my portfolio all over, I would, if I had $10,000, I would dedicate some money to Neo. Why would I do it? Because I believe in the high risk, high reward. $10,000, if I put them in SCHD, is going to average me 7, 10, let's say 10% every year. That is $1,000 a year with $10,000. I don't want that. $1,000 a year, I really don't. That's like 100, like maybe $90 a month. I don't want it. I I want a lot more. If I have, I'd rather throw all the 10,000 in Neo and wait it out for it to get to like $8 and then sell it, make 100% out of it in 2, 3 years, then make 10%. It's me though. It's me. If I was 21 again and I had the money, and I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take risk. And that's how I grew my portfolio. I've taken a lot of risks. It's funny. I'll show you. It's just not enough time, but hold on. Let me show you something. Because, some people will just call you a liar for nothing. Uh, I'll show you my history with Neo. Okay. Just a quick history. Let's do just a quick history with Neo, and then I'll close this out. I'll close this out because my history with Neo is really unique. As of March 2025, I had a recurring investment in Neo all the time, because I used to buy $5 every day until I stopped, because I wanted to get to 500 shares, right? Until I stopped, and when I got there, I was like, okay, that's it for my Neo portfolio. So you can see we go all the way down. I want to go all the way down to day one, which is my first time that I bought Neo. This was it. Yeah, February. You could see this February 2020. This was before even COVID. This was, yeah. No, it wasn't before COVID. Before COVID got crazy. COVID got crazy in like around March, and I bought it. I bought 20 shares at $4, and I continued to buy it $3, 3.90. I continued to buy Neo shares all the time. Look at it. All these are buys at $3, at $3. Look, and then my first sale was selling it in the same year in July. I sold it at 14. I sold 50 shares at $14. I bought them at 3, sold them at $14. Okay. I didn't sell everything. I just sold 50 shares. And then I started buying calls. It made me a lot of money. And I bought more. Yeah, I actually bought 50 more shares after selling them. I bought them back at 380. And then I'll show you something. Just hold on real quick. And then here we go. In January 2021, this is a year after, I started selling the shares that I bought at $3 and $4 at 52. I sold $10, 10 of them at 52. I sold more at 53. I sold more at 52. I was, I sold 19 at 55. I was selling almost everything, you know. I sold more at 38. I sold some at 41. These are all receipts that I'm pulling out, you know, before someone says, "Oh, he's lying." This is a gamble that I took. I bought the shares at $3. I bought them at $4, and I sold them at 50s. And this is how I grew my account. If I put them in SCHD, I put them in any ETF, I wouldn't have been here right now, doing what I do. It would have been a wise investment, conservative, but it wouldn't be the greatest. Okay, so now these are some great investment. Look, I sold $42. I sold more. I sold more at 40. I was just selling, and as you can see, I was buying calls on them, and I was making a lot of money. Neo made me a lot of money. So I owe this stock a video, and some more videos will come through later on. I'll later on make videos to explain how the battery swaps work, and why I think this company is going to do great in the near future, and how they are spreading their wings around the world. Okay, not to waste too much of your time. Okay, stay safe and stay blessed. I'm out of your hair. Peace.